Yes, people, wife boy, and today I'm discussing whether Arsenal should consider replacing Gabriel Martinelli with Leandro Trossard in their Premier League starting 11. As always, let me know your thoughts on the topic in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it, whether you're an Arsenal fan or another football fan. And as always, if you're new around here and you love Arsenal football related content, make sure you subscribe down below on my road to 2,000 subscribers. So Gabriel Martinelli, let's be honest, he's been one of the best players for Arsenal this season, and you wouldn't really be thinking we'd be having this discussion around him. Arteta has been very fortunate in the fact that he's managed to list pretty much the same starting 11 every Premier League match week, and given the fact that 7 of those 11 have started in every single Premier League game, whether it's injuries, consistencies, or a bunch of the factors, that's been the case. However, with the incoming of Leandro Trossard, a starter for Brighton, scoring an abundance of Premier League goals in his recent seasons, is it time he comes into that starting 11 instead of Gabriel Martinelli? As always, we're going to discuss the pros and cons of this argument. Starting with the pros, well, let's talk about the fact that Gabriel Martinelli, before the World Cup, and to be honest, the 2 games since the World Cup, West Ham and Brighton, he's been really solid. He's been contributing goals, assists, tracking back. You cannot fault this boy's effort. However, in recent matches against Newcastle, Manchester United and Tottenham, let's say big sides, he struggled recently. Has it been him struggling? Potentially, I think, but also it's probably been compounded by the fact that the player on the opposite wing, Bukayo Saka, has taken his game to brand new levels and has really shone in these last 3 matches. So that's made Martinelli look, in hindsight, probably a little bit worse than he really has been performing. It's been that and the fact that he's come up against Kieran Trippier and Aaron Wan-Bissaka in 2 of those games. 2 of, let's be honest, the best one-on-one defenders in this league, and he's been locked up at times. Against Man United on the weekend, he didn't get any change of Wan-Bissaka in one-on-one situations. It was more Saka who was getting more of the joy against Luke Shaw. And this is the problem with Martinelli. He's a bit of a one-trick pony for me. He gets his head down and he runs straight at the defenders. It works because of his explosive pace, but it's only so often you can do the same trick over and over, just head down and run. He's got no cutting ability. That being said, however, he scores important goals for his club. His finishing has really improved this season. Against West Ham, a big goal. Against Nottingham Forest, a big goal. Brighton as well to make it 4-2, a big goal. And that's just naming a few. This man has scored big goals for his football club this season. And he's got that clinical ability in his game. Left foot, right foot, he seems to get it on target more often than not. I mean, we're talking about a team now. I said at the start, he's listed pretty much the same team the whole season, Mikel Arteta. Is it time to really change it? Does it rock the apple cart? Bring in someone new inside the squad? I mean, he hasn't had to change that team unless it's for injuries or suspension. For him to actively choose to change a player out that's not injured in Trossard for Martinelli, does it knock that boy's confidence, man? I mean, he's still a young player. It looks like he gives his all in training. He's still a hungry athlete. But do you really want to do that, man? I mean, Martinelli, for me, is one of my favourite players to watch in this Arsenal team. But is it time that we give someone like Leandro Trossard another go? Because I'll be honest, when we first were linked to Mudryk, because that was who Arsenal's primary target was before signing Leandro Trossard, we all knew Mudryk was a left winger, and we were discussing him, let's be honest, as soon as the World Cup finished around that time. And at that time, Martinelli was electric. I was thinking, hold on a minute, we want to sign this guy for 80, 90 million, but our front three is looking amazing. Now it kind of makes sense when we're targeting a left winger rather than right winger. Martinelli seems a bit one-dimensional. He's pick up the ball and he's run straight. He's not as tricky as Mudryk would have been, and he doesn't cut inside as much as Leandro Trossard does. On the other side, on the other flank, Bukayo Saka, he's shone this season, and he's taken his game to a new step because he's adaptable. That's the word I'd use for him. Bukayo Saka is reminding me of Iron Robin in the aspect that he's not just Martinelli that can take the ball down the touchline. Just like his goal against Tottenham, well, it was Lloris's own goal, but the first goal against Tottenham, where he took Sessegnon down the byline and then whipped in. Of course, it was a blunder by Lloris, but you have to cross it in to get the goal, and that's exactly what he does. And then you the other side of Saka's game against Manchester United, where he cuts inside and delivers a rocket into the bottom corner. He's got both aspects. He can take you down the line, he can cut inside and have end products. Just like Iron Robin would, where he'd go down the line and get an assist, or cut inside and get a goal. When you're a player that's two-dimensional, that can do both things perfectly, it's dangerous. You just don't know what to do. You were always taught, as a defender, show line, don't let him cut inside. Well, if you do that for Martinelli, you're sorted, because the man hasn't really got end products cutting inside in his right foot. Against Bukayo Saka, you can't. So then you've got to double up on him or triple up on him, which of course leaves an overload on the other side of the pitch. Martinelli doesn't have his game, as opposed to Leandro Trossard. Look, he only had 10-15 minutes against Man United, but in that cameo, I saw good things from that man. Tricky on the ball, close control, getting around defenders, passing at the exact right time to Zinchenko. If he passed a split second later, that goal doesn't count as it's offside. He's someone that has got that Premier League IQ, 28 years old, of course. And sometimes, look, we've talked about how the young players in the squad have been amazing for Arsenal. sometimes you just need a bit of someone that's got a bit more experience at times, especially how the season's going. Someone like Trossard that can make the right decision, being a little bit older, a bit more experienced, will know when to cut inside, when to make the pass, when to shoot. Because I do think Martinelli's decision making has let him down a bit at times. That being said, however, this kid is still extremely raw. He's still only 21 years of age. He still is going to get better in this team, despite the fact he's had so much experience already. And he seems a kid that's hungry. And you can never fault players like that, man. There's players at times that lack a bit of quality. They're maybe not as good finishing, but you forgive them because they give their all in that shirt. And I guarantee Martinelli does. He tracks back, he runs forward, he's hugging the touchline. He can tell he's taken on Arteta's advice, he's getting coached properly. So in that aspect, I can't fault that player. And if Arteta would continue to play Martinelli in this Arsenal 11, I would not sit back and moan about it one bit, because I think he's a top quality player. I just think adding this Trossard guy means that it's giving Martinelli competition, which is what he needs to really kind of take his game to the next level, because he's been alright, he's been kind of comfortable in this Arsenal team. He's had good games, but he's had games where he's been quiet. Whereas I think Saka at times has really shone in this Arsenal team, especially recently against the top teams. I think for Martinelli, he struggles against teams that play a low block and defend well. Against teams that kind of attack high and it gives us the opportunity to counter-attack or play in transitions, Martinelli's perfect because he's direct with the ball, he's fast, and he can take people on, and he's athletic. The problem is when teams defend well, have great defenders, and defend a low block, he struggles because he's not that good at being creative and picking the right pass and executing the right pass, or playing against low blocks where he'll have to cut inside and be a bit more patient. He seems a very frantic footballer at times that wants to get the ball and just run with it, which is enjoyable to see. But when you're playing against teams like Newcastle who defend 11 men behind the ball, it's not the best opportunity. You'd rather have someone like Trossard that can unlock a door, unpick a lock at times. So, overall, this Trossard signing, it makes complete sense, man. Does he do enough to start for Arsenal? Well, I don't think you can throw him straight in, just like when Gabriel Jesus comes back from injury. I wouldn't expect Arteta to throw him back into the starting 11. You can't do that after how Nketiah's played so well for this football club. He's been a kick in the teeth to the young Englishman if Gabriel Jesus comes back from his injury and just goes, okay, you're back in the team, Jesus. Look how well Nketiah has played. Equally, I don't think Trossard deserves to start straight away for Arsenal, but I think he is nearing that stage if Martinelli continues to not have great performances. But at the end of the day, we're sitting there saying, maybe it's unlucky on Martinelli, but you need competition. Every healthy squad has competition. I mean, look at Man City. You have world-class players in every position. You're talking about some games where Bernardo Silva's on the bench, Jack Grealish is on the bench, Mari's on the bench, Foden's on the bench. These top-class players are sitting on the bench when they know they would start for pretty much every other Premier League side. That's how it goes, man. It's a ruthless business. So if Martinelli is sitting on the bench because he's not having a great game for Leandro Trossard, he just needs to sit there and take his medicine and get better next game when he's in the team. And that's what we want to see, man. You either sit there and you crumble under pressure, or you force yourself to up your game. And that's, to be honest, that's only a good thing for Gabriel Martinelli and Arsenal. So for me, overall, I'd still start Gabriel Martinelli for now, just as a credit for what he's done this season. But Leandro Trossard will definitely be knocking on the door. And what I saw in that Man United game, I was really excited from him. And I would not be against him starting for Arsenal in the near future. As always, let me know in the comment section down below who you would rather start for Arsenal. Gabriel Martinelli or Leandro Trossard. And as always, if you love this video, drop a like down below and subscribe on my road to 2,000 subscribers if you love Arsenal and football related content. I've been Football and I hope to see you all in my next video.